Welcome to TYT Sports, everybody. Ben Mankiewicz and Chris Liss with you. So, yeah, we're getting close to the NBA playoffs. We want to do a little segment here that I have not prepared for, but I think that keeps it pure and fresh.
Yeah.
If the NBA playoffs started today, who would win just based on what's a better city?
Right. That's the only criteria
It's
for
the only
advancement.
criteria. So here's if the playoffs started today in the East, Atlanta and Brooklyn, Cleveland and Boston, Chicago, Milwaukee, Toronto and D.C., Golden State and New Orleans out west, Memphis getting the nod over Oklahoma City, which makes it a contest, by the way, because
Right.
obviously Oklahoma City can't win. Memphis and Dallas, Houston and San Antonio, Portland, and the Clippers. All right, so where should we begin? Let's just begin in the upper left there, Atlanta and Brooklyn. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm from Manhattan, and I rarely spend time in Brooklyn. I did only a little bit when I was a kid, and now I know Brooklyn's super trendy. So I don't really like either of those. Can they both lose the first round?
No, somebody has to advance. But that means that we're not going to put too much stock in your vote because I have a very strong opinion. But go ahead.
Okay,
Let's see.
I'll say Atlanta.
All right, you're wrong. Here's the thing about Atlanta. Enough with Atlanta. Like, you got the Olympics in 1996. Atlanta.
1996 is a
good.
long time ago.
Atlanta to represent the United States, that's like putting the Olympics in Phoenix. It's
Right.
insane. Atlanta is just merely a city in the country.
Right.
It's okay. It's better than it used to be.
Right.
Right? But enough with Atlanta.
Okay.
Brooklyn, again, I don't want to pick it because it's
hipsters. It's just a bunch of hipsters in Brooklyn.
except that's what has brought it back into vogue, but there's still all those same Brooklynites there sort of doing their Brooklyn thing, making it happen. I'm going to give it to Brooklyn. It's not Brooklyn love, but it's an easy win for them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, anyway, go ahead.
Also, we need New York to advance in some capacity.
Yeah, the Knicks aren't in the playoffs.
The Knicks aren't
too
there.
bad.
So Brooklyn moves on there again, but an easy matchup there with Atlanta. Let's put the playoffs back up there. I guess we'll take they'd be playing next the winner of the 4-5 game, which would be Toronto and D.C. This is a monumental first-round matchup of two great North American cities.
Oh, really? I just despise everything in D.C. I've never been there even. I've never been to D.C. I grew up in Manhattan, never been to D.C.
Well, that's insane.
I despise the whole culture and the politics, the people that are there. So I'm going to go Toronto, even though I don't really like Canada either.
All right, well, so much is wrong about what you just said. D.C. is a great city, partially because it's filled with that political nonsense, which I, of course, love. But that said, I know what's wrong with it.
It's just like the source of all evil. Why? I would just go with Toronto because even though Canada is like annoying, it's like they're not like.
Oh, they got great places to eat now. Fun.
Well, of course, there's so much money there. All the lobbyists' money. Of course, there's great places to eat.
Genius, like such smart people, interesting people. The fact is, look, it's the seat of government of a country that should work really well.
I know, but it's like terrible. It's like the root of all.
But here's the thing: I'm from
D.C.
D.C. I love D.C. It's a top 5 city. It is a brilliant. Toronto is just this magical frickin' place. It's like a little bit of Europe in North America. I love it. Because of some frustration with D.C., I can't believe I'm going to say this. Toronto over D.C. in the first round.
All right.
And then Toronto annihilates Brooklyn and moves to the Eastern Conference Championship.
All right, you're big on Toronto.
It's Cleveland and Boston, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Look, my grandmother lived in Cleveland, and so I'm going to go with Cleveland. Boston, I really despise Boston. They're a rival of New York's. I don't like Red Sox fans. It's disgusting that they won 2 World Series. They used to be miserable. I liked them a lot better then. The Pats fans are annoying. I don't really care for it. Every time I go to a bar in Boston, I feel like 6 frat boys want to beat me up for some reason. So I'm going with Cleveland.
This is a lot of wasting time. Boston, I love. I went to college there, and I say that so maybe for a second you'll think I went to Harvard. And I went to college super near Harvard.
Yeah.
I went to Tufts.
Yeah.
Go Jumbos. Cleveland gets the mistake by the lake. Everybody likes to make fun of Cleveland. That makes me tempted to give it to Cleveland. But I think Boston's a great American city. I'm going to have to give it to Boston.
Okay.
But it's all academic because the 3-6 matchup, Chicago and Milwaukee. Milwaukee's super underrated. It's like a little Chicago.
Right.
But I'd still rather go to big Chicago.
Yeah, I hate Chicago. It's just a pretender.
Do you like anywhere?
No. And Michael Jordan I despise, and I hate the Bulls, so I would have gone Milwaukee. But okay, fine. But you're the boss of this. You could advance them. It's fine.
Chicago is
Who's next?
Everyone would live in Chicago if it weren't so unbelievably
the weather's
unpleasant
horrible.
6 months a year. But it's there's this energy in Chicago, this youthful. I love Chicago. Everything. So Chicago wins, and then Chicago beats Boston. And we're
Chicago.
We're looking at a Titanic Toronto, Chicago, 2 of the great North American cities. Other side of the bracket, we got Golden State opening against New Orleans, that's tough.
Yeah, New Orleans. Go New Orleans, man.
I mean,
Golden State. San Francisco's overrated. It's really small.
Also, right now, I got to be honest. I mean, I'm an Ace fan, but they play in Oakland.
Yeah, I mean, it's overpriced. Silicon Valley is not it's not making anything of real impact. It's making a lot of little gadgets for us. They should be solving large problems. I'm going to go with New Orleans. New Orleans has good music.
I'll give it to New Orleans too because we're going to count this as San Francisco. They're moving back to San Francisco. The Warriors are. I love San Francisco. I love the Bay Area. I love everything about that place. But I want New Orleans to win. I want success for New Orleans. That isn't Beale Street in Memphis. That isn't just the French Quarter. Like, it's a great city, and those people need help, and they need a win. So
this is going to be a big deal for them.
This is going to be one of the since the Saints.
This is
their biggest sporting victory here.
Yeah.
So New Orleans advances. So because they'll play the winner of the 4-5 matchup, which I think at this point is the Clippers and the Blazers.
Right. Well, definitely LA sucks. So we're definitely going Portland. I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah. So
we live in LA. I can say this with experience. When I say I hate DC, I've never been there.
Portland,
but LA,
right.
I live in. I know the hell that this place is. So we're going Portland.
One of my best friends is from Portland, an actor. He's on House of Cards and The Americans right now.
Oh, really? The Americans,
his father
like the
was
best show
a
on TV.
20-year. He plays Father Tim. Pastor Tim.
So annoying, that guy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but he's good.
But he's doing a good job.
He's doing a good job of being annoying. Yeah. So he's also totally bald. That's all fake hair. That's great.
You ruined the show for me now.
And he's a huge Blazer fan, and his dad was a great liberal congressman for 20 years from Portland. So Portland advances over LA because, I mean, I love LA, but,
of course.
But Portland
of
advances.
course.
They're not going to win.
LA's
so
a joke.
then the other matchups there, the 2-7 matchup. 7 is Memphis and Dallas. That's a joke. Dallas, please. Memphis, crush. It a sweep. Memphis advances. Like, stay off Beale Street. Memphis is great.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of those two cities, so we'll just keep going.
Memphis is great.
Yeah.
Memphis advances, and Memphis will play the winner of the 3-6 matchup, which is Houston and San Antonio. That's a
tough one, huh? Houston.
Well, no, it's
Come
not.
on. I like the Rockets. I like James Harden.
Houston's
I know
the worst city.
It doesn't matter who the players
in the
are.
world, not in America.
Yeah.
In the world.
Right.
San Antonio is the second best city in Texas after Austin.
Right.
San Antonio's okay.
All right, I'll go with it. I've never been to Houston.
Houston, please.
Yeah, never been there. I've been to the airport a lot.
Houston is like being in a huge outdoor prison.
Right.
So San Antonio
take your word
advances
for it.
easily over Houston, and then San Antonio is easily defeated by Memphis, and Texas is eliminated. I like the little towns of Texas.
Right.
And then we get Memphis.
Texas is its own country now, though. It's seceded, right?
So does New Orleans beat Portland in one semifinal out west? That's a big matchup.
I'll go with Portland. I know the weather's crappy, but I like Portland. I mean, I know it's got that whole Portlandia thing, and you could, just as I eliminated Brooklyn, you could eliminate Portland for the same reason. But yeah, one of my best friends lives up there, and I visit there quite a bit. And I'll go Portland.
All right, so it's
New Orleans got the win that it needed to rehabilitate everything there from the earlier round.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So Portland advances, then Portland and Memphis. You know what? Portland's going to the finals from the West. Portland is the representative.
Portland in there.
We're putting Portland in, and Portland is going to play the winner of Chicago and Toronto.
Yeah.
I think this is really the matchup that ABC and ESPN are looking for. Toronto and Portland.
Right.
In the NBA Finals.
Yes.
And here is it. This is great. This is such a great un-American thing.
Yeah.
Toronto wins.
No.
Toronto.
No. I can't go with Canada. I'm sorry. I'm not loyal really, but I can't go with Canada.
Socialized medicine.
If it was like Mexico City, I could go with it, but not Toronto.
No, Mexico City can't go to Mexico City, please. Too crowded. All right, I'm picking Toronto.
I'll go Mexico City.
But I would also pick Chicago. Like, I'd pick either of those over Portland. Like, Portland can't win. Portland is also part of Portland's charm is that they don't win.
Right. Well, no one will ever go there because of the weather, which is why it's still okay.
And another one of my best friends and TYT contributor Craig Birnbach, also in Portland. Congratulations on getting to the West Finals, but you've lost to, I think, Toronto.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
His life.